It never comes with a warning, does it? The sense of being outside, watching life rush past. Families, traditions, systems that feel designed for somebody else. Grief was the color of the morning light, and solitude followed me like a shadow. In my darkest hours, healing didn't announce itself as wisdom. It arrived quietly, a persistent ache for understanding and belonging that no textbook or locker room pep talk ever offered. I'm Mark Roach, and this is Transcendent. Today's journey unfolds in the space between what's missing and what's possible. The truth is, the mentors who shaped my grit in athletics and guided my hand in business were there when the playbook was clear, when the outcomes could be measured, and when they rarely ventured into the wilderness where the real pain roams. Loss, trauma, existential doubt. It's the vast territory of the heart and the psyche, the place where knowing someone is genuinely present means more than any institutional badge or credential. Reflecting on the traditions of an African community as illuminated by Malidoma Patrice Somé, I see how mentorship there is not a professional role or a transaction, but an act of deep recognition born from communal duty and ritual. Elders and mentors sense the unique genius in each person, tending to it in a way that you might nurture a fragile ember into a lasting flame. The process isn't rushed. It's relational, intuitive, spiritual, not bound by curriculum, but instead by shared stories and rituals that weave generations together. Contrast that with our contemporary climate here in America today. We champion individuality. We champion technological progress. And yet so many are left adrift without guidance for the inner journey. Those aching rites of passage that happen far from public view. The chapters of Western life highlight achievement and ownership. But what happens to the 16-year-old with gifts too strange for standardized tests? The 40-year-old suddenly flattened by loss, or the veteran whose suffering unacknowledged repeats itself like an echo because true community never stood witness. What we most desperately need, the healing presence of mentors, cannot be replaced by products or paid sessions, nor codified by institutions that rarely touch the edge of soul-deep transformation. What holds us back isn't just the absence of tradition or ritual, but the persistent illusion that our conscious selves, our visible actions and spoken words describe the whole story. Science hints that as much as 95% of our experience, our suffering, our potential lies in shadow, denied or ignored by systems that value only what can be measured. The lonely suffering of individuals isn't a failure of will, but a shortfall of genuine acceptance, ritual closure, and shared witnessing. Here on this platform, I offer what was missing, validation for the outcast, for those whose pain and transformation failed to find sanctuary in society's ordinary structures. My aim is not just to be a mentor, but to amplify the necessity of mentorship, bridging emotional, psychic, and spiritual paths that have yet to be woven into our everyday living. If we succeed here, if we speak honestly, if we witness each other's journeys and pass on wisdom without shame or pretense or identifying with it, we may become midwives not only to our children's genius, but to our own. Emerging technologies, insights from psychology, and wisdom preserved in spiritual texts all urge us toward a future where the best of tradition and innovation converge, not in a display of superiority, but in humility and curiosity. Mentors bridge the gap between suffering and acceptance, between what we inherit and what we create anew. The role is not to dictate, but to witness, to validate, and to invite every wandering soul back into belonging. I'm Mark Roach, and this is Transcendent, wishing you all the best. If wholeness haunts us, let it be a call to reclaim what tradition overlooked and institutions abandoned, the medicine of genuine presence and deep communal recognition.